We got new word from the president speaking in South Florida, who said that it is in the vital national security interest, this strike tonight. More from the president now. He is calling for civilized nations, as he put it, to join the United States in, quote, seeking to end the slaughter and bloodshed in Syria, end quote. The question is, what is the risk of escalation? What is the risk that the Syrians continue their slaughter of their own people? What would the United States do next? You heard General Jack Keane suggest that the United States would act again. Tara Mahler is with us, former CIA military analyst, now a spokesman and senior policy advisor for the Counter-Extremism Project. Risk of escalation in your estimation?
There is a risk of escalation. There's always a risk of escalation when you launch 60 Tomahawk missiles on the sites of the Assad regime. Having said that, I think the Trump administration drew a clear red line on chemical weapons use, which clearly violates international norms. It is a horrific attack on innocent civilians, but it still remains to be seen what is the overarching Trump administration policy with regard to the Assad regime, with regard to U.S. troops in Syria, with regard to the potential creation of safe zones. So there are still a lot of larger looming policy questions. This is a substantial shift in U.S. foreign policy, but I don't think we sort of have a sort of longer-term outlook here in terms of what the Trump administration is going to do next. And I think it's critical that they gain coalition support for whatever their next moves actually are.
What sort of coalition might come together here? In the past, the coalitions were built first and then the action taken. In this case, it would appear we're taking action and asking for a coalition sort of at the same time.
Right. So we took some form of limited action here. There's more action that could be taken. If we ramped up military action significantly, it would require domestic congressional approval if we were going to escalate to a war, for example, against the Assad regime. That we have not seen happen yet. If we want to gain sort of UN support for additional military options, we saw Nikki Haley make strong remarks before the Security Council yesterday afternoon. I think we will be bringing together coalition partners for any additional military steps. Again, too early to say. This was an initial response to the chemical weapons attack, but it does not outline a clear military strategy for dealing with Syria at large. So I think that is what we should be watching in the next few days. I think the Trump administration wanted to be very clear that they were going to draw a red line here in terms of chemical weapons use, but that's not an overarching Syria policy. We don't know the overarching Syria policy, and we have to deal with Russia, who is, active in Syria and is going to show opposition towards any stronger ramped up U.S. military involvement there.
Tara Mahler live with us. Tara, thank you.